Today we will proceed with the next topic, that is section 4.2.6 in the solar PV installer course. So it is following instructions and reporting problems. So we have already discussed the instructions, the workflow in our previous topics. Okay, now in case of problems, how we have to proceed. So all organizations follow a hierarchy with most employees reporting to a manager or a supervisor. So hierarchy, it is having a complete pyramid-like structure. So one above another, above another. So in this way, each employee is working, reporting to a senior employee. Okay, then further, that senior one is having one more senior employee. So like that, there is a whole hierarchy. So they are aware. So each employee is aware of who is their reporting head. So for organizational success, it is vital for employees to follow the instructions of their manager or the supervisor. Means who, so mostly the person who is at the next level in the hierarchy. So he has the authority. He is a reporting person for the employees, and usually the employee has to follow the instructions given by the senior person. Okay, so they should ensure they perform their duties as per the given instructions to help achieve the common objective of the organization and deliver quality service or products. So the duties, the instructions which the senior official has assigned to the employee, so the employee should perform those duties, and in this way, the output, it may be a product, it may be a service, so any type of output which is expected from the employee, that is obtained, and correspondingly the output from the organization, that is obtained. So this consequently helps maintain the reputation of the organization. Yes, quality products, quality service, that builds the company's reputation. It is also important to be vigilant and identify problems at work or with the organizational work processes. The one should deal with the identified within their limits of authority and report out of authority problems to the manager. So the problems which is under the authority of one employee, he should perform that, and which is outside the authority of that person, he should report it to the manager or the supervisor, okay, or the reporting head. Okay, the employee, the concerned person has to inform that he is facing issues with some type of the task which is being assigned. It is not under his authority. Okay, and the effect, or how to deal with this type of problems, or we can say which he is not able to deal. He has reported immediate resolution on that particular issue or the problem that minimizes the impact on customers, okay, and the whole business. Coming to the next topic, information or data sharing. There seems to be some misprinting there in the manual. Okay, so we shall proceed now. With that, so information or data is critical for all organizations. So depending on the nature of its business, an organization may hold different types of data. So data could be like the personal data, okay, of the customers, okay, which they are dealing with. Okay, so contacts, the business operations about their clients. So that will be available with the organization, because it is the only then it will be able to provide a service, better quality service. Okay, so it should be confidential. The organization should not leak the data of the client. It is vital to effective measures or the appropriate handling of different type of data, ensuring its protection from unauthorized access and consequent misuse. Like in our field, we are dealing with the solar PV installer course. The data could be like the different type of loads, which type of machinery, how much load requirement. Okay, so different type of equipments which are used by the customer, we will be having a full access to it. Also the contact details of the customer. Okay, also the type of service they are providing, that will also be known. So that should be confidential. It should not be leaked out to any person. Whoever wants, he can misuse that data. So we should prevent it. One should access certain data only if authorized to do so. The same is applicable when sharing data which must be shared only with the people authorized to receive it, to use for specific purpose as per their job role and organizational guidelines. So taking an example, one should be cautious while sharing business data with any third parties to ensure they get access only to the limited data they need as per any agreement with them. So as much data, the minimum, as much the minimum amount of data that is needed to share with a third party for performing some type of task, only that should be shared with a third party. Not all of the data of the customer should be shared there. It is also critical to monitor how the recipient of the data uses it, which should strictly be as per the organizational guidelines. It is a best practice to share appropriate instruction with the recipient of data to ensure they are aware of the purpose, which data is being shared with them, and how they are supposed to use it and handle it. Any misuse of data must be identified and reported promptly to the appropriate person to minimize any damage arising out of the data misuse. Okay, so if in case there is some type of data that is being misused, okay, so that should be identified. And after we have identified it, the employee has identified it, he should immediately report it to his reporting head, so that the misuse of the data should be immediately, it should be stopped. These days, most organizations require their employees and business partners or associated third parties to sign and accept the relevant agreement on the non-disclosure of business sensitive information. Okay, because trade secrets are there. Okay, and confidential data regarding the business of the client, the organization. So that should not be shared with everyone. So there is a agreement, non-disclosure agreement in these days between the client, the organization, the third parties, everyone. So in simple terms, business sensitive information is confidential information. It is proprietary business information collected or created during the course of conducting business, including information of the business, okay, like the investment, intellectual property, trade secrets, or plans for a merger and information related to its clients. The business sensitive information may sometimes also include information regarding a business competitor in an industry. Okay, so how they are trying to overcome the competition or their competitors' business. Okay, so that all is the confidential data. So the release of business sensitive information to competitors or the general public poses a risk to a business. So the example like information regarding plans for a merger could be harmful to a business if a competitor gets access to it. So that particular organization may face the consequences. So that should be confidential. It should not be leaked out. Its misuse should be prevented. The next topic is the reporting issues at work. So most organizations have identified guidelines on appropriate reporting process to be followed for reporting different type of issues. So how to tackle with the issues or the troubleshooting, that is specified guidelines have been framed out in the organization. So for example, one can report any grievances or dissatisfaction concerning co-workers to their manager supervisor. So the manager supervisor could be the senior person. Okay, so the employee, they can report that issue to the manager or the supervisor. So the data breaches or unethical conduct that is being conducted, that should be reported to the superior person. If the concern is not addressed, then the employee should follow the organizational guidelines and hierarchy for the escalation of such issues that are not addressed appropriately. Okay, so some issue comes out, the employee has reported to the superior person. Okay, but still the issue is not resolved. So there are guidelines. So in case it is not resolved here, then you proceed to this person, this reporting head, or some other superior person in the hierarchy. So he should follow that path. So an example is like any concern related to sexual harassment at the workplace. Okay, that should be escalated to the concerned spokesperson, like the HR, human resource representative, and still no action is taken, then it should be reported to the senior management for their consideration and prompt action. Okay, so this is how the issues which are being, which often or usually are comes out at the organization at different levels. Or maybe some issues these are rare, but there are guidelines for reporting all of these type of issues. So guess how we have to deal with that by reporting properly. Further guidelines are there where to who to achieve in the first level. If not being addressed, then how to achieve in the next level. So we shall stop here for today.